Okay, hi everybody. My name is Stephanie Ward. I own Von Ward Kennels in Campo, California. I have been breeding German Shepherds for a little over 15 years now. I have had enough litters and enough experience with parvovirus where I feel very confident in helping others save puppies and dogs by being prepared. I'm going to make another video on all the supplies that you need to have on hand for the future. But this video is going to be directed towards if you think your puppy has parvovirus or your dog has parvovirus right now, and you don't have any of that stuff on hand that you need to save those dogs or those puppies. So first and foremost, if these are tiny puppies that are still nursing on mom, you need to pack up some formula and some bottles, or mom, if they're still nursing and mom is available. You can pack up mom and take her with you, because you're going to be at the vet's for quite a few hours. You're taking them to the ER vet, and they're going to be trying to save their lives if they are positive for parvovirus. I know it just depends on the situation. Everybody's situation is different, but I know some people will take their puppies to the vet and not realize that they're going to be there for so long. And then the puppies, once they're starting to get treated, they start getting their appetite back. So just make sure you have something. And if they're on mush, then obviously you can feed them some mush or goat's milk or whatever. Okay, so if you suspect they might have parvovirus, get them to the vet right away. Go to the ER vet, the one that you want to take them to, you know, the one that you like the most or whatever. While you're there, once they start, get them back, and let's say they test positive. And while you're there, if they don't test positive, they probably have Giardia, coccidia, or some other parasite, and the vet will treat them for that. So if they are positive, you're going to be there for a long time. So while they're treating them, they're going to be giving them some either IV fluids if they're big enough, but a lot of puppies are too small, too young, etc. They will need sub-Q fluids. And then they'll give them they'll start them on antibiotics, a broad spectrum antibiotic, and they'll give them the anti-nausea meds. So you're going to have a lot of time before they're ready to go home. So you need to go on the search in your town for Paxaid. It has been known as Paxsin, Paxsin. It's also been known as Parvaid, but they keep changing their name for some strange reason. I don't know why. But this is incredible stuff for puppies with parvovirus. This helps keep the virus from attacking their systems and helps flush it from their systems. It helps calm their stomachs. It helps keep up their appetite along with the anti-nausea meds. So search in your town, try to find a specialty shop. You can go on their website and they give you a list of stores that might carry it, but definitely do a search of specialty pet stores in your area. Call them up, ask them if they have this on hand, and get, this is a small bottle. I keep about 6 big bottles on hand, but it's good for other stuff too. It's good for just upset stomachs in general. You can give them a big syringe of it for just upset stomachs. So it helps with other things than just parvovirus, but it is really important. If you can't find it in your town, go online and try to have it overnighted to you, or at least within the next 2 days, so that when the vet sends you home with your puppies or dog, you can start them on the treatment that the vet gives you, but then as soon as you get this in the mail, you start treating them with this according to the directions. Now, what I want to point out about this is the company, I've actually called them on this because it didn't make any sense, what it tells you to use on the back. So when I see 0.35 cc's, I think it's 3 little points on the 0.3 on the syringe. But after calling the company, they said, no, that's a full 3 cc syringe, even though it says 0.35. So I called them and asked them about this. Why they haven't fixed this is beyond me. I don't know. But Amber Technologies, you need to fix your measurements on the back. And it says 0.35 is the same as 5 drops. No, it's not. It's not even close. 5 drops is not even a quarter of a whole 3cc syringe. So just be aware that use the cc measurement and make sure you know it's, let's say, for a dog that's up to 150 pounds, you're to use 0.45. So that would be a 3 cc syringe and then another 15 on top of that, another 1.5 on top of that full. So you'd use a bigger syringe, obviously, but just make sure you're using enough of this, because if you don't, that's where you hear the bad reviews on this, is people are going by the drops, or they think it's the 0.35 and they're not giving enough. So it says to give it every 15 minutes for about the first hour. Every time I've used this and used it correctly, I really start seeing a difference in those puppies. So also the anti-nausea meds that the vet gives, and obviously fluids, you know, that all plays together in helping save those puppies. Okay. So the vet is going to, okay, that's another thing. If you have $50,000, you can leave your litter, if it's a whole litter that's sick, with the vet for them to save. And yes, they will probably save quite a few, most likely, and depending on how long they've had the parvovirus. If they've had it for a few days, then, you know, unfortunately, you're probably going to lose more of them. But I have found that if you have everything that you need on hand and you know exactly what to do, you can actually give more time to those puppies than the vets can. I'm not putting down the vets. The vets are incredible and we need them, okay? I'm not putting them down, but they sometimes can be limited on how many people they have available. Sometimes they're late getting what the puppies need. You know, they might be an hour later than what I would be able to go and have the puppies, let's say, in my bathroom, you know, taking care of them. So, a normal vet visit for a litter of puppies, depending on how old they are, if you're taking them home the same day and they're giving you all the supplies that you need, that's probably going to run you $2,000 to $5,000. Like I said, depending on how old the puppies. If they're older, obviously you're going to need more. But some people just don't have $50,000 on hand. And I can't stand it when people our breeders are put down because they didn't spend $50,000 at the vet's office, when they probably could do just as good at home, as long as they have all the tools that they need, everything that they need from the vets. So don't let people do that to you. You know, if you've taken them to the vet, you're getting them what they need. So get those puppies home after the vet has done the initial treatment and start doing what the vets tell you to do. So they're going to give you lactated ringers. Make sure you get enough of all of this stuff to treat this whole litter, or this one dog or 2 dogs or whatever you have, for at least 7 days. So like I said, if it's a big dog, you're going to need quite a few of these. If it's just a litter of tiny puppies that are 3 weeks old, well, then you're probably not going to need nearly as many of them, because you're not going to be, using as much. Make sure they give you the lines that go with the lactated ringers and the needles, and they can show you how to do all this. So the needles that go with that. So they can show you how to do the sub-Q fluids. If the really little puppies sometimes cannot have an IV, and sub-Q fluids can be fantastic for all of them. That, you know, even the older dogs, they don't have to have an IV. You can do the sub-Q fluids if you've got everything else on hand that you need. You could most likely pull that dog or puppies through the parvo. I have saved 7 2-week-old puppies from parvo. And yes, they can get it that young. It's not as common, but they can get parvo at 2 weeks of age, which is absolutely horrendous. And you would think that they wouldn't survive because they're so young. But if you have the right tools on hand, you can absolutely save them. The other thing that they will send you home with are antibiotics. Every vet's different on what kind of antibiotic well, maybe not every vet, but vets can be different. But as long as they are giving you a type of antibiotic, broad spectrum antibiotic that treats parvovirus, then you do what they tell you to do and give it according to how often. Usually they give them 1 injection that will last, that it's a long-term broad spectrum that will last the entire time that the puppy's going through the parvovirus. It usually stays in their system for like 2 weeks. So usually you don't have to take that home, but you know, every vet's different. Like I said, you might have to administer the antibiotics after you take the puppy home as well. Another very important tool that I didn't even know about when I first started learning how to save puppies with parvovirus is anti-nausea meds. I use ondansetron. There are others you can use. Vets can give you this when you take your puppies in. They can give you this and tell you how often to give them. And these are incredible for keeping the puppies hungry and thirsty, which they desperately need to drink and eat when they have parvovirus. So just make sure your vet gives you anti-nausea meds, enough to treat that whole litter for at least 7 days, or the adult dog or whatever that you have. Make sure they give you enough to keep that nausea down so that that dog remains thirsty, wanting water, helping replenish its body with everything that it has lost from the diarrhea. Okay. So also I recommend getting some Bullivites or just some type of really good dog vitamin while you're at the specialty store for the Paxade, when you go get the Paxade. It doesn't have to be Bullivites. It can be another really good dog vitamin, and administer that. You can put it on their food. A lot of them have like liver flavor in them so that the dogs or puppies will still eat it. So I would recommend definitely administering that, because their body's being depleted of all these nutrients and they need them to be replaced. You can give probiotics. If you want to add it to their food, you can give that to help counteract the effects of the antibiotics. A lot of foods already have probiotics, so you don't have to. But if you're just feeding like formula or something that doesn't, well, most formulas do too, but just depends on what kind of formula you're using. But I would highly recommend using the probiotics as well to help with your puppies. So just keep in mind that in most cases, you didn't do anything wrong for your puppy or dog to get parvovirus. A lot of vaccines don't even cover the parvovirus well enough. I'm going to do another video that's going to cover prepping and being ready for if you get it again, because if you're a breeder, you're probably going to get it again. Even if you take all the precautions, it's probably going to hit your kennels again at some point. But just try not to let it get you down too much, or let other people or, oh my gosh, social media put you down for making you feel like you haven't done enough or didn't do enough, or that you didn't keep your kennels clean enough, or whatever, because it can survive anywhere. And that most of the time where you pick up parvovirus is the vet's office, and the vets can't help it either. That's where sick dogs go, and they sterilize like crazy, but you know, they can only do so much as well. It's a very highly contagious virus, and it's, you know, something that a lot of us just cannot completely prevent. So I will be posting another video, so just keep in touch and keep in tune to following my videos, and keep everything on hand that you need. Also, I ask that you like and subscribe to my videos, and just keep following my videos and comment. Let me know how much you like it. If you were able to save some puppies. I honestly can't keep up with the phone calls that a lot of people want to call me and ask me questions about parvovirus and saving their puppies, and I can't keep up with it all. I wish I could. But I wish you all the best. God bless, and take care. Bye-bye.